Hello friends, welcome to KRISHNA'S. I am Kumar and I have teaching anthropology since last 10 years for UPSC students and various state PCS students. So I running my own coaching institute KRISHNA'S at Dr. Mukherjee Nagar and Old Rajendra Nagar, Delhi. But I want to give information to you. I will be start offline class at Patna from 20 January at a banner of Sambad IS, which is situated near Boring Road, Chowraha, above CM Hotel. So those who are interested to join with me in my offline class, they can join with me. Otherwise, I have online class for those students who are not capable to join offline class. But today I am going to discuss, about a strategy for BPSC exam. Which strategy you have followed for the preparation of anthropology, because we already know that anthropology is a very high scoring optional paper, not only in BPSC exam but also UPSC exam, and it is also high scoring in Jammu and Kashmir, West Bengal, Odisha and UP and Himachal Pradesh also. So basically in Bihar there are many students who have been got more than 200 marks in 300 marks, right? So our target is that how to achieve more than 200 marks in anthropology in BPSC exam. How we will be getting 200 marks in anthropology in BPSC exam. So my focus is how to make our proper strategy for upcoming BPSC mains exam. So friends, when we try to make our strategy for the preparation of any discipline, any optional paper, so any strategy has two important parts. First, you have to understand our syllabus properly, because syllabus gives us very good insight for the preparation of any discipline, any subject, any exam. And second, you have also give focus to understanding of trend of questions pattern, right? This is also very important when you try to prepare anthropology and when you opt anthropology as your optional paper, and when you try to make your strategy for the preparation of anthropology. So you should give attention about two important things. First important thing is our syllabus. So our syllabus is divided into three important sections. First is socio-cultural anthropology. Second is physical anthropology or anthropological theory. And third is Indian anthropology. But basically in BPSC exam I will give focus on physical anthropology, not on anthropological theory. So today we are discussing about socio-cultural anthropology, physical anthropology and Indian anthropology, not on anthropological theory, right? This is optional. So a student can opt physical anthropology or anthropological theory in section 2. but I give a suggestion to you. You have to choose physical anthropology. So how we prepare that thing? So before we are going to make our strategy, at first we try to analyze about our syllabus. So in socio-cultural anthropology, there are mainly 9 important topics, right? But when we try to concise our syllabus, when we try to understand our syllabus, so first important thing is that in socio-cultural anthropology, at first we have to study about introduction of anthropology, right? This is the first topic in which we have to study about meaning and scope and development of anthropology and branches of anthropology also. This is very important topic because this topic gives us very good insight for the understanding of anthropology. What is anthropology? What is the scope of anthropology? What is the relevance of anthropology? What is the nature of anthropology? Why we should study anthropology? And it also gives us some important insight about that. Why a student who have been opted anthropology as their optional paper getting high marks, right? So my suggestion is that when you try to study about that topic, you have to study that topic in properly. Means if you try to look out about the question comes in BPSC exam, you can find that generally BPSC give more attention about that topic because that topic is introductory topic and that topic give us basic insight for the understanding of anthropology. So BPSC has asked question relevance of anthropology in many times. BPSC also asks question about the relevance of socio-cultural anthropology for contemporary society. BPSC asks question about the meaning and scope of particular branch of anthropology, as for example in 65 exam BPSC asks question about the meaning and scope of archaeological anthropology. Archaeological anthropology. So basically this question looks like very simple, and a student think that it is a very easy question. But friends, I want to suggest you, question may be very simple, but answer can be present in very high standard because we are studying anthropology for competitive exam. You are not studying anthropology for passing our graduation or post-graduation exam. So when we are focusing about getting high marks, in that condition we should study that thing in depth. Means when you try to study about a scope of archaeological anthropology, you have two important aspects related to a scope of archaeological anthropology, that is theoretical and applied. So in theoretical aspect of archaeological anthropology, we try to understand about the development of archaeological anthropology and some branches of archaeological anthropology. So in theoretical aspect of archaeological anthropology, we have to understand about prehistoric archaeology, proto-historic archaeology, classical archaeology, maritime archaeology, industrial archaeology, new archaeology, ethno-archaeology, processual archaeology. These are the important sections related to archaeological anthropology. And when we interact with the student, from Bihar who have been learning anthropology by self or locally available locally available material, I got that they are not familiar with these types of sub branches of anthropology. They have nothing idea about neo-archaeology. They have nothing idea about ethno-archaeology. They have nothing idea about processual archaeology. So when you have not hear about that terminology, and when you try to write about the answer of a scope of archaeological anthropology, then how can you get high marks? So remember that thing. You have to develop your content and you give focus about 5 important branches of anthropology which is mentioned in our syllabus, topic number 1, right? Second important thing is that applied section of archaeological anthropology. When we are going to talk about a scope of archaeological anthropology, we require knowledge about applied aspect of archaeological anthropology. So one thing, this is very popular, cultural resource management. This is very new branch of archaeological anthropology, and that they give focus to application of knowledge of archaeological anthropology for contemporary society. Garbage management is another important aspect of archaeological anthropology. Then we have to study about how particular type of technology develop in the course of evolution of culture. So that give us insight about not only development of that technology, but that also give us insight about the advancement of future technology. So presently archaeological anthropology is more developed, and if you are familiar with that, then you can get high marks. So in 64th exam, BPSC has asked question about meaning and a scope of applied anthropology. So in this way you can prepare that. So my opinion is that when you try to study anthropology, you have give more and more attention about that introductory topic, in which we have to study meaning and a scope of anthropology and its various branches like socio-cultural anthropology, physical anthropology, linguistic anthropology, archaeological anthropology, and applied anthropology. Second important thing is that second topic related to socio-cultural anthropology, there are some concepts mentioned in that topic like a culture, civilization, society, social institution, social group, community, association, band and tribe. This is very important topic for BPSC exam, and BPSC has again and again asked short notes question from that topic. But there are many students who have been facing problem in this topic, because that is concept, and for the understanding of that concept we have to understand about these concepts are based on two important another concept, that is structural or functional. So in this some concept is structural, right? Like a society is a structural concept, social group is a structural concept, tribe is a structural concept, band is a structural concept, community is a structural concept. So you have developed that thing, because through that you can better understand about that concept. And culture and social institution is a functional concept. Here a structural concept means that they give us insight about the structure of that particular thing, like a structure of society, like a structure of group, like a structure of community. And functional concept, it has no structure, right? it is doing important function for the fulfillment of the need of society. So basically, when you try to understand about these types of concept, if you have understanding about to another concept in anthropology, that is structural and functional, then you can better understand about that. Third important thing is that these concepts are useful for the understanding of another topic of anthropology, basically from socio-cultural anthropology. So when you try to understand about the content, subject matter of socio-cultural anthropology, you have to give focus on that concept, which is very, very important for us, not only for the understanding of anthropology, but also for getting high marks, because in BPSC exam each section have equal marks, 100 marks for socio-cultural anthropology, 100 marks for physical anthropology, and 100 marks for Indian anthropology. So try to give attention about that. Third important section related to socio-cultural anthropology. This is very important for the understanding of socio-cultural anthropology, because when you try to study about that topic which mentioned in socio-cultural anthropology, BPSC syllabus did not give very good insight for that topic, because in that topic we study about marriage, right? Second, family. Third, kinship. This is very important topic, right? But when we look out about the syllabus of BPSC, so there are lack of clarity in BPSC syllabus related to marriage, right? So when you try to study about marriage, you have to give focus about the study of problems of universal definition of marriage. This is mentioned in our syllabus, and this can be studied in the light of some important case study. So the role of case study is very important when you want to get high marks in anthropology. But after that, you have to study law of marriage. So this is not clearly mentioned in our syllabus, and only one thing mentioned in our syllabus which is related to law of marriage, that is a incest taboo. But when we try to study, if question asks about law of marriage, so we have 5 important aspects related to law of marriage. First is incest taboo, second is endogamy, third is exogamy, fourth is hypergamy, and fifth is hypogamy. So at first you try to understand about what a important subject matter related to particular subtopic. Third important thing is that we have to study about regulation of marriage. So regulation of marriage, it is also not clearly mentioned in our syllabus, and only one aspect of regulation of marriage mentioned in BPSC exam, that is preferential marriage. But suppose BPSC asks question about right or analyze about the regulation of marriage in human society. So there are 3 important aspects of regulation of marriage. First is preferential marriage, second is prescriptive marriage, and third is proscriptive marriage. So at first you try to understand about your syllabus, then you have to study about types of marriage, then you have to study about function of marriage, and then you have to study about marriage payment. So when you try to study BPSC when you try to study anthropology for BPSC exam, you have to give attention about that thing when you try to deal about marriage, this topic. Second, when you try to study about family, so you have to study about universality of family. Universality of family, and universality of family is a debatable topic which can be understood in the light of case study. There are many case studies available in anthropological literature for analysis of universality of family. But one thing you remember here, I want to suggest you. Suppose question asked about family is a universal social institution, discuss, right? Or family is a universal social association, discuss. So both are quite different thing. Try to understand. When we are talking about family is a universal social institution, then we have to write your answer according to functional perspective, because social institution is a functional concept. So here you have to deal the topic in the light of the function of family through important case study. But when question asked about family is a universal social association, then association is a structural concept. So you have to write your answer in the light of case study about the structure of family, right? So this is very minor thing related to anthropology, but without a clear understanding about the concept of institution, association, you can't capable to write your answer in right way. Third important thing is that you have to understand about function of family, then types of family. So types of family, when you try to deal about the types of family, you have to learn family types on the basis of their structure, on the basis of marriage, on the basis of blood relation, on the basis of residence pattern, on the basis of succession right, on the basis of power. And therefore the types of family is a very complex topic, and you have to give attention about that. And lastly, when you try to study about family, you have to learn about the impact of industrialization, urbanization and feminist movement on family. So here you can also understand that thing on the basis of case study. So role of case study is very important when you try to study about socio-cultural anthropology. Then kinship is very important topic which mentioned in our syllabus, but here there are few topic related to kinship mentioned in our syllabus, but BPSC asks a very standard question related to kinship. So when you try to understand about kinship, at first you try to understand what is important for us for the understanding of kinship. So we have a study about what is kinship, then function of kinship, then kinship terminology, then kinship behavior, then kinship and descent, right? And we also study about alliance, descent and alliance. So these are the important topic related to kinship. But when you try to look out about previous year's question, BPSC has asked very standard question from kinship. As for example, in 59th BPSC exam, BPSC has asked question about the study of kinship terminology, GP Murdoch, right? GP Murdoch contribution on the study of kinship terminology. This is the question from 59th BPSC exam. Generally, a student when try to study about kinship terminology, they study kinship terminology on the basis of work of L.H. Morgan, who has divided kinship terminology in two categories, classificatory and descriptive. But if you try to study that topic in depth, you found that there are many anthropologists who have been done very good work on kinship terminology, like L.H. Morgan, W.H.R. Rivers, A.R. Radcliffe Brown, Levi Strauss, and G.P. Murdoch. So G.P. Murdoch had done a cross-cultural study in 250 society, and in his famous work Social Structure, that was the product of their field work. In 1949, he described kinship terminology in very extensive way. So if you have studied kinship terminology in very depth, then you can capable to write your answer. Otherwise, you are not capable to write your answer on kinship terminology. Second important thing is that BPSC asks question once time about determination of kinship terminology. Determinant factor of kinship terminology. So this is also very difficult question for a BPSC student, because this topic is also mentioned in UPSC exam, and we have taught that topic in very broad perspective for UPSC student. So basically this question, these types of question, if you want to tackle these types of question, we require depth knowledge related to kinship. And when you try to study about marriage, family, kinship, you have to collect a proper diagram, proper case study related to that topic, and then you can achieve your goal. Then you can capable to get high marks. This is the way for how to get high marks in anthropology. Then in socio-cultural anthropology, we study economic anthropology, right? And when you try to look out about previous year's question, you found that BPSC has asked a standard question from economic anthropology, right? Very standard question, two important question. If you try to look out about previous year's question, you found that in 65th exam, BPSC has asked question meaning and scope of economic anthropology in the light of formalist and substantivist school of thought. This is a very difficult question for BPSC student, because this topic, formalist and substantivist debate, that mentioned in UPSC syllabus, but this topic is not mentioned in BPSC syllabus. So when a student who are preparing UPSC exam and they started a study of economic anthropology, they also study formalist and substantivist debate. So this is a typical question for you, and therefore when you try to study this topic, please study all topic in depth, right? If you want to get high marks, if you want to qualify in BPSC 66th exam, so you have to study that in depth. Second, once time BPSC also asks question from economic anthropology, role of economic anthropology for the understanding of market and trade. These types of question I have not exactly remembered about that. So that is a question related to applied economic anthropology, means how we utilize knowledge of economic anthropology for the understanding of market and trade. So I give suggestion to you. Basically, recently there are many important sub-branches developed in economic anthropology, like industrial anthropology, corporate anthropology, which focus to application of anthropological data for the study of consumer behavior, for the expansion of market, for the designing of a industrial product, and that is very useful for the development of for the understanding of market behavior of consumer and trade like pattern. So this is a very standard question. In my opinion, this is very standard question, and when you try to study that thing, you have to study that thing in depth, right? Then one topic from political anthropology, right? Political anthropology, this is very simple, but one topic from political anthropology, nation building in new state. So first, when you try to study about that topic, first thing is that what do you mean by new state? So new state means states of third world country who have colonial past, right? And they became independent after 1945. So after 1945, when nation building process started in this new state or third world country, so we have to study about nation building process of this new state or third world country. This is the topic, and this is very important topic, and BPSC has asked a question in one's time on that also. So as students who have been preparing BPSC exam, I think they are facing problems related to content for that topic, right? Because that topic is only mentioned in BPSC syllabus, and there are some difficulty related to the content of that topic. Then topic mentioned related to religion, that is a very important topic, and in BPSC you have to study animism and animatism. But I give suggestion to you, when you try to study about religion, you have to study approaches to study of religion, in which you have to study evolutionary approach, psychological approach, functional approach, or structural functional approach. That approach gives us very good insight for the understanding of religion. Another important thing is that when you try to study differences between religion and magic, and differences between magic and science. So in 65 exam, BPSC has asked question, differences between religion and magic according to 19th century anthropology. This is very typical question, and for the understanding of that question, we require depth knowledge related to religion. Last, then we have to study fieldwork tradition. But one important thing is that if you try to look out about previous year's question, you found that BPSC generally asks question, write short notes on fieldwork tradition, or write what is the importance of fieldwork tradition. But in 64, BPSC asks question, fieldwork tradition and characteristics of fieldwork tradition. So many students who did not know about characteristics of fieldwork tradition. So sociocultural anthropology, basically in sociocultural anthropology, BPSC has making some complex question, and for better understanding of that topic, we required depth knowledge for sociocultural anthropology. And last topic in which we have to study social organization of types of behavior. But here we are not going to study that topic. You have to study that topic in Indian anthropology when you try to make ethnographic profile about the types of behavior. So this is socio-cultural anthropology. If you try to look out about a question, you found that some question asked by BPSC is really complex, and so you have to develop your knowledge, depth knowledge on that. That is not you cannot get high marks, very good marks through superficial knowledge of this section. After that we will discuss about some aspect of physical anthropology. So basically in physical anthropology, mainly 5 important topic mentioned in BPSC syllabus. Here you try to understand mainly 5 topic, right? And that all are a static topic. So these are very simple and high mark fetching. So first important topic is theory of organic evolution. Theory of organic evolution. And in this topic we have to study Lamarckism, Neo-Lamarckism, Darwinism, Neo-Darwinism and synthetic theory. These are the 5 important theory related to evolution. But you try to study that thing in comparative way, and you also give attention about the contribution of particular theory for the understanding of evolution, and also you have give attention about their critics. In this topic we also study about human evolution, biocultural dimension, this is a very important topic, and BPSC has asked question many time on that topic. So when you try to prepare that topic, you should be prepare that topic in a right way. Right way is that you have to make integration between biological factor and cultural factor for human evolution, because in animal kingdom only human being is a biocultural animal. So how biological evolution is important for the evolution of culture, and how cultural evolution influence to human biological evolution. This is the core concept related to that topic. Next, in this topic one thing also mentioned, that is microevolution. So microevolution, that is a concept that related to concept of organic evolution, because organic evolution, process of organic evolution has 2 important aspects. One is microevolution and another is macroevolution, right? So organic evolution, in organic evolution, when some important thing change in a species or their member and new race form in particular species, that is called microevolution. Always remember that evolution is an organic process in which organism evolve from simple to complex form due to change in their gene frequency, and that change in gene frequency is due to some important factors like mutation, gene recombination, hybridization, isolation, migration, genetic drift and natural selection. So these 7 important factors are also important factors for microevolution. So that evolution means micro level evolution that happening at a species level when race form in particular species, that is called microevolution, right? So that you can understand very simple way. Then you have to study about primate. This is very important topic, but in BPSC syllabus some topics, only some important topic mentioned related to primate. But when you try to study about primate, you have to give focus extensive study of primate, because in primate we have to study prosimian, monkey, ape and man, right? Comparative study, structural and behavioral study of a primate member like prosimian, monkey, ape and man. Once time in basically in 59 exam, BPSC has asked question, write a comparative study of ape and man in ethology and anatomical basis. So ethology means a study of behavior. So many of a student who did not familiar with the ethology or did not familiar with the similarity and differences between ape and man on ethological perspective. So I give suggestion to you, you have to give focus to study that topic in very broad way. And in this topic we also study man place in animal kingdom, that is a static topic. So you have to make diagram chart related to that, and then you can capable to control over that topic. Then in physical anthropology we have to study about fossils. So there are many fossils mentioned in our syllabus. Try to give attention about that. There are many fossils mentioned in our syllabus, but BPSC asks question on some important fossils, right? So don't take bother about the many fossils which mentioned in our syllabus like Propylopithecus and Lemnopithecus, etc. You have to study some important fossils like Dryopithecus, Ramapithecus, Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Neanderthal, Homo sapiens sapiens. So when you are going to study fossils, always give attention about that. We have to study some important aspect of fossils. First, their discovery. Second, their geographical distribution. Third, their physical characteristics. Fourth, if there is a facts related to their cultural feature, so we have to mention cultural feature. And then their phylogenetic position, discussion of phylogenetic position. So when you are going to study about fossils, any fossils, at first you have to keep attention about the discovery. For geographical distribution, if you are capable to make world map, try to indicate their important geographical distribution through world map. In physical characteristics, you have to give attention about those physical characteristics which are very important for the understanding of evolutionary process, like cranial capacity, like position of foramen and magnum, supraorbital rays, occipital region, pelvic, teeth, jaw, femur, etc. So these are the important physical attributes related to human evolution, that is very important for us. So on the basis of that physical characteristics, you can present physical characteristics of that particular fossils. And if you are capable to make diagram of some physical attribute of particular fossils, then you can make that diagram. And then cultural you have also write. And for phylogenetic position, you have also make diagram. There are many diagrams present in anthropological literature. So you can take that diagram, and by the help of that diagram you can write your answer. And then one topic mentioned in our syllabus, that is Mendel law of inheritance, right? That is a single topic, inheritance. So for the understanding of Mendel law of inheritance, you have to give attention about their experiment and try to make diagram, proper diagram related to their experiment. Second, you have to remember their important law proposed by Gregor Mendel. And then you have to give a focus to application of Mendel law of inheritance in man. So when you try to understand about application of Mendel law in man, so you can find that there is monogenic inheritance, there is PTC test. PTC test is based on Mendel law of inheritance. Basically a law of independent assortment. So application of the law of independent assortment you can show through PTC test. Third, paternity diagnosis on the basis of ABO blood group and DNA fingerprint. Fourth, forensic investigation, that is also based on Mendel law of inheritance in man. Screening of some genetic disease, also based on the concept of Mendel law of inheritance. Pedigree analysis, we can also diagnose some important disease on the basis of Mendel law of inheritance, like Rh incapability. And then determination of sex is also based on Mendel law of inheritance. And we have to develop transgenic animal, transgenic plant on the basis of on the application of Mendel law of inheritance. And hybrid plant and animal also develop on the basis of application of Mendel law of inheritance. So these are the important application of Mendel law of inheritance. After that, you have also developed critics or limitations of Mendel law of inheritance. So some limitations of Mendel law of inheritance is that there is polygenic inheritance in man, there is multifactorial inheritance in man, there is pleiotropic effect in man, co-dominance also present in man. So through that you can write about some important limitations of Mendel law of inheritance. After that, three important concepts also mentioned in that topic, that is nutrition, inbreeding and hybridization. So this is a very simple concept, but when you try to prepare that topic, basically in 65th exam, BPSC has asked question about nutrition, inbreeding and hybridization. So that topic we can prepare in the light of case study. There are many case study available in anthropological literature for understanding of role of nutrition in growth and development of human population, or there are some diseases which occur due to malnutrition or overnutrition. So you can write that. Inbreeding effect is also very important in human society, and there are some case study available in anthropological literature for the understanding of inbreeding effect, because inbreeding has some harmful effect in human population. And there are some also important case study present in hybridization, because it has positive impact on human population. So through that you can prepare that. Lastly, one topic mentioned in our syllabus related to race. But when you try to look out about the topic related to race, you can find that is very complex, because BPSC in BPSC syllabus we found 4 or 5 topic related to race. But basically when we try to study about race, we study some important aspect of race. Means first important thing, we study race formation. Second important thing, we study racial classification. on the basis of racial criteria. So racial classification, racial criteria you can study together. Third is racism, that is mentioned in our syllabus. Fourth is main race of world, right? Main race you have to remember. And fourth is racial classification of Indian population, racial classification of Indian population. So these are the topic which mention in the topic of race. But when you try to look out, observe about the BPSC syllabus, that give us a very complex picture related to that topic. But that topic is very simple, so you can prepare that topic in this way. Lastly, when we try to discuss about Indian anthropology, so basically topic related to Indian anthropology present in BPSC exam, that is quite clear, right? There is no confusion related to any topic in Indian anthropology, but always remember that in Indian anthropology, if you want to get high marks in Indian anthropology, so there are some dynamic portion in that section. But some static portion like prehistory and proto-history, BPSC always asks question on prehistory and proto-history, right? So that is a static portion from Indian anthropology. So you have to prepare that topic properly, because the question asked by BPSC is look like simple, but their answer is complex. And if you try to get high marks in prehistoric culture, you have to develop how to make diagram about some important tools. Secondly, you present archaeological site on the basis of the map of India. You try to make map of India, and through that you can present archaeological site when you try to write about the answer on prehistoric culture. And this is a static portion, so you have to prepare that topic. Then we have to study about ethnic and linguistic element of Indian population. This is factual topic. Basically in ethnic element in Indian population, we study racial classification of Indian population. So you have to study about racial classification of Indian population by Risley, by Guha, by Sarkar. So this is very factual. If you prepare that and remember the all fact, then you have to opt, the question comes from that topic. And then we have to study traditional social system like Varna system, Ashram system, Karma, Prusat, Rina, Rebirth. This is the concept. This is very important concept. But when you try to write answer on that concept, you have at first you try to define that concept, and if you have proper diagram related to that concept, you can write a diagram. But you have to also write about merit, demerit, and relevance of that concept. And then you have to study caste system. So when you are going to study caste system, at first you try to understand about what is caste. Then you have to give focus about approaches to the study of caste. Then you have to study about characteristics of caste, structure of caste, and a change in caste or future of caste. This is the very important topic. You have also study Jajmani system, and then you have to study about some important concept which mentioned in our syllabus, like nature man spirit complex, sacred complex, little tradition, great tradition, Sanskritization, westernization, modernization, parochialization, universalization. This is the important concept, or tribe and tribe caste continuum, etc. BPSC again and again asks question on that concept. So prepare that concept. And then one topic is a growth of Indian anthropology. That is very simple. But two important topics related to that topic. First is contribution of Indian anthropologists to the study of tribe and to the study of caste or peasant. So these topics you have to prepare on the basis of case study. So here from that topic, when you try to study about Indian anthropology, for the study of contribution of Indian anthropologists, you have to prepare that topic on the basis of case study, and then our topic mainly focus to tribes of India. But generally a topic mention tribes of India, but when you try to look out about BPSC question 10, you found that mainly focus on tribe of Bihar. So in socio-cultural anthropology, when we study about a social organization of tribe of Bihar, and here at first you prepare about ethnographic profile of tribe of Bihar, like Munda, Santhal, Urao, Ho, Birhor, Asur. Second important topic related to that topic, that is tribal problem. This is very important topic. But when you try to prepare that problem like land alienation, indebtedness, low literacy rate or educational problem, or a tribal displacement and rehabilitation, impact of urbanization and industrialization on tribal, forest and tribe, and problems related to cultural contact. So these are important topic which mention in tribal problem. When you try to prepare that topic, always remember you have collect some important case study. As for example, when we try to study about problems of displacement in tribal society, so we have many case study. As for example, B.K.R.B. Rao had done a study on Jharkhand and tribes of Odisha. One Hemendorf had studied on a Gund tribe of Adilabad district of Andhra Pradesh. Right? L.P. Vidyarthi had done a study in Ranchi, and in that study he focused about the study of displacement and rehabilitation of tribal society. Rajendra Singh had done a study about on Patratu. Jayant Kumar had done a study on Bokaro, and P.K. Das study in Jhinkpani. Aaron Srivastava had done a study on Beladila. Kamal Kant Misra had done a study on Andhra Pradesh and tribes of Odisha. So you have collected some important case study, because without case study you can't get better marks in that topic. Then we have to study constitutional provision, right? Constitutional provision for SC and ST. This is mentioned in our syllabus. But this is very simple topic. But when question asked about how much that provision benefited to ST or SC, so for that we required some important contemporary data related to their education, related to their health, related to their sanitation, related to their drinking water, related to their income, related to their profession. So you can collect that data from two important sources. First important sources is the annual report of Tribal Welfare Ministry, and second important sources is Jhaja Committee report. And through that you have to prepare that topic. Otherwise, if you only prepare about some important article related to constitutional safeguard of SC and ST, you can't get high marks. And then we have to study tribal development. So this is a very important topic, and BPSC has asked question recently on that. So for the preparation of tribal development, you have to collect a development program from 1952, means a community development program to present day. and you have not only collect that program, you have also collect about the evaluation of that particular program, right, their critics, their limitations, and then you have come to present, means present development program, present government development program, how present government deal about tribal development program, what issues, important issues, what policy, important policy change happen in tribal development program, right. And then we have to study about role of anthropology in tribal development. This is very important topic. When you try to prepare that topic, you have keep attention about two important things. First important thing is that role of applied anthropology for tribal development, and second, role of action anthropology for tribal development, and last topic is national integration. So basically in this session I have discussed only how to approach your syllabus and try to analyze about previous year's question, because some question asked by BPSC have very standard question, and if you try to write their answer and if you try to get more than 200 marks, so we required some extraordinary work for the writing of our answer. So collect a very good content related to that topic and try to present that, and through that, if you have a content, if you have proper case study, if you have proper diagram, if you are capable to make diagram, if you are capable to make map of India and world and present your material through that, so you can get good marks. So this is anthropology for BPSC 66th mains exam. And friends, this is my analysis about that, so you can better understand about that analysis.